Welcome back to the US Chess Online coverage of the candidates. It is Saturday, June 2nd. We're meeting after round 12. And of course, it's me, John Hartman, and the real person you're coming to see, GM Jakob Aagaard, who is where are you, Jakob?
I'm in St. Louis.
You're in St. Louis. You've been traveling around quite a bit, making your American tour. In fact,
I was in Charlotte, I was in Richmond, I'm in St. Louis. I'm gonna go home for a little bit, then I'm coming back to Charlotte, St. Louis, Las Vegas, and San Francisco.
Well, I'm sure the fans will be lined up on the interstate, looking for your car everywhere you go.
Yeah, I'll be flying.
Nuts.
Yeah, my fans. Well, in Las Vegas, I'm going to play the guitar, and trust me, nobody's coming to see me play.
That's a story for a different day. But also, we should mention, while you've been in St. Louis, the first copies of your brand new book have been sent to you, and I want to show this off because I know how hard you worked on this.
Well, yeah, I wrote it over a weekend, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, it's let's try to see it. So I know I'm going to show here. So basically, it's like a pop-up book, you know. As but the main thing I want to show is, let's see if we can get the right angle here. It stays open.
Wow.
I was not sure if less than 900-page book. So here we have page 896. If a less than a 900-page book would actually stay open when you do, it will only be out in hardback. It is going to be available from 13th of July from all your normal sources like USCF Chess Sales, Chess for Less, qualitychess.co.uk. We also have copies in the US that we send out to people, and many other places. People who like discount and want to wait, it will eventually come on Amazon. I don't know when. It will take some months. No, it's simply logistics.
Yep.
Amazon demands that we send through a middleman who obviously takes a nice cut, and it takes longer. So it's more expensive for them. But it's yeah, anyone who wants to buy the books can have it. It will be available on the 6th of July on Forward Chess.
Excellent.
And it is not an endgame theory book, it is an endgame understanding.
I'm getting a little bit, oh, maybe not. I was getting a little bit of echo, but I'm not anymore, so that's great. So we can keep going.
Maybe you could hear the dog barking somewhere.
I did not. But, you know, we're all fans of dogs here.
Candidates, John.
Yes, let's talk about it. First thing
let's not compare hair anymore here. Let's go to the candidates.
You always do this to me, Jakob, and someday my hair is going to grow, and yeah.
And I'm still going to have more hair.
You will. I want to take a look at the cross table, because I'm going to move this so that everybody can see the full cross table. This is where we are after round 12. And I think everyone who is watching immediately notices that it's going to be very, very hard for Jan Nepomniachtchi to screw this thing up.
Yeah, he's going to win.
Yeah.
It's like, was it chess results had him at, no, chess numbers had him at 98 something percent, and being in top 2, he's 99.9%. So it's very hard to construct a situation where he doesn't win.
But as I mentioned in my my little write-up yesterday after round 12, the race for second place, which I think, as we discussed last time, could be very, very important. Everything is still to play for there. We've still got 4 players who have a reasonable chance of landing in second place.
Yes. Well, I'm still gonna write off Rajapov because people are gonna take him a little more seriously now that he won some games. He has only won games because people thought he was so incredibly weak and easy to beat, that they played against him in a way which they wouldn't play against each other. So the chance of him actually this cross table here doesn't make sense to me in full, I have to say.
Why is that?
Well, Rajabov has 2 wins and one loss, and he has 50%.
Well, that doesn't make sense. I must have missed something.
Maybe he lost another game somewhere.
Yeah, I must somehow
One of the thing is he has 3 missing results here.
Curious. Okay, well, I'll have to go back and check this out. I think we used this in the story, and now I'm going to have to.
Yeah, now anyone watching this should pause with the space bar or whatever you're using, and then you try to work out what's missing. Is it his results against Caruana? Is it his results against Rapport?
It's curious. I suspect this is probably just an artifact of the way I did this in ChessBase, but now I'm gonna have to go take a look when we get off the video.
It's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah, but the scores the scores are actually, they are all accurate. So we've got Nakamura and Ding Liren.
Yeah, I know you would have checked them.
Yes,
but, yeah. No,
and then Rajabov
this is the proofreader in me that instantly strikes. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, we have a situation where Nepomniachtchi is gonna be winning, and Nakamura said a few days ago that he thought that Carlsen saying he's not going to play is baloney, and he thought that the way Caruana had played against Duda also indicated that Caruana thought it was baloney. I don't think so. I think Carlsen has played World Championship matches almost all his adult life, and it's not very attractive. It's he didn't like the format. It's many draws. It's boring. Didn't like preparing for it. Just didn't like anything about it. He sort of whined a few times, and now he really, his team believed him when he said it was the last World Championship before the last one. So yeah, I think it could be true. Let's say it's much more likely than not, in my opinion. Especially, so Nepomniachtchi, and we're not taking any sides or anything, we're just stating facts here. He showed up with the sponsor's logo. So Nepomniachtchi is one of the people who signed the letter about being unhappy about the invasion of Ukraine. He released a video message about it, but he's still accepting sponsorship money from company which is owned by a guy who is, was in the room when Putin was explaining why this was inevitable, and one of the people were just insiders of the system, and he showed up at the candidates with the logo on his shirt and on his bottle, and it's been there for all the Russians to have photographs to send back to the media that can be used for their sport washing, as it's called, showing Russian greatness abroad. And it just feels like this would make it even less attractive for Magnus to play with Nepomniachtchi. It seems like it's very unfortunate for chess. I'm not gonna point fingers at anyone, and I would say mistakes have been made, and it's probably going to be bad for chess.
Yeah, it's hard to see how a rematch, I mean, just from a chess perspective, bracketing the politics, it's hard to see how after that World Championship match, Carlsen could find it desirable to play Nepomniachtchi again, unless he thinks that he doesn't have to prepare as hard. But I suspect Carlsen is not that kind of person. And then the prospect of a match between Nepomniachtchi and anyone else for the World Championship, it does not excite me geopolitically or chess wise.
Well, the thing is, so FIDE has decided not to receive any sponsorship from Russia, and the 2013 match in Chennai was sponsored by the Tamil Nadu government, just like the Olympiad is now. But since then, every match has been sponsored by Russians, and also 2012 match was sponsored by Russians. So it was sponsored by Filatov personally, but others in the Russian system have sponsored. It's been seen in Russian interest to keep the influence in chess going, and among other things, secured sponsorship for matches all over the place, but the money always have come from Russia. And FIDE said they didn't want such a match, such a sponsorship anymore. Which means if we have a situation where we have a Nepomniachtchi match against, let's say, Nakamura or Caruana, I have no insights. I don't know if there would be an American sponsor who would want this. You could always speculate if the St. Louis Chess Club would be interested in a world championship match with one of their own players, but with this logo mistake here, I think. By the way, Alireza, I can see against Nepomniachtchi, also should be another 0.
Oh man.
But I think it could be very difficult. And also we are in a situation where as a starting point, FIDE has to go out and try to find a sponsorship from a Nepomniachtchi-Carlsen match. And I know that on Twitter, Emil Sutovsky, who is, technically a FIDE employee, but is clearly campaigning on behalf of the existing administration, was going to have a debate against Peter Heine Nielsen, who is part of another campaigning team, but they seem to not be able to find dates because Sutovsky is going to be busy trying to organize a second match sponsorship, and has meetings. I would assume, unless they have something lined up, which would be great, that a very early meeting will be with Carlsen. Under which conditions would you play, and tell him that he has to at least declare like minimum fee. Will he play Nepomniachtchi at all? All these kind of things, because you cannot have FIDE running around knocking on endless amount of doors for sponsors and then not know if they will if Carlsen will play.
It's a difficult situation for everyone.
And I'm I no matter who wins the FIDE election, or who qualifies, or if Carlsen plays or not plays, my general my starting point is I want what's best for chess, and it would be a world championship match, and a prestigious one, and without Carlsen and without a sponsor. So I was sort of thinking that if it was Ding who qualified for the match as in the second place, which is decided by tie breaks,
right,
where Ding will have the worst tie break, because getting points out of Nepomniachtchi is basically the way to get a good tie break, because he has so many points, but Ding has lost to him, and the other 3 contenders have not. So I think Ding, he has to be ahead. There's just no doubt, and he will be black against. Could probably work this out here.
I've got
black against Alireza, and then he will be white against Nakamura. You have the rounds coming. I think this table here, we have seen enough of it. But anyway, so if Ding was the challenger, then with China and Russia, these countries are close to being allies. At least they're somewhat politically aligned at the moment. Russia is exporting a lot of oil and gas to China and India, and sort of keeping their economy going in this way. And for sure, organizing a match there, it could be organized. If the Russian state's still interested in it, then they just phone and ask, and then it's sponsored. So and this is just facts. This is not a political opinion in one way or the other. It's a factual thing, but Yeah, with a match with Nakamura or Caruana would be difficult. On the other hand, a match with Rajabov would be incredibly easy since she lives in Moscow. So,
Yeah.
I think isn't Nepomniachtchi from St. Petersburg or is he Moscow? I think he's Moscow also.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, his coach is from Moscow, Potkin. So there's the St. Petersburg guys, normally other guys like Svitler, Vityugov, Khalisman, Fedoseev. Is a different crowd. Fedoseev moved to Moscow, as far as I know, and now I think he moved to Spain, but for some reason. Let's go on to your last two rounds.
Well, before we do that, we're going to talk about the games. I did want to ask you as an entry
Yeah,
point.
we can go to talk about the games afterwards. We'll maybe go back to that afterwards.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm gonna give you control.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't have the list of the last two rounds. I thought you had them.
Oh, okay. I had it up. I had it up on the screen. I'm sorry. I can do that actually right now if you want.
We want the last two rounds, and then you can do the controversy over Kramnik and so on afterwards.
Yep, I think you have to give me back control.
Oh, seems very, very professional here.
Yes. Well, I mean, after I screwed up the cross table, all bets are off.
Yeah, well, last time we did this, we got like interview of the year awards to share between us from the Chess Journalist Association. We're not going to get it this time anyway. That's the
cross table. All right, so here are the pairings for the last round, for the last two rounds. So for round 13, we've got Nepomniachtchi against Rapport, Nakamura against Duda, Firouzja against Ding, Rajabov against Caruana.
Yeah, so Firouzja Ding is sort of a game to watch, right?
Right.
Because if Firouzja loses this game and Nakamura does not win his game, then Ding could potentially get away with a draw against Nakamura in the last round. On the other hand, let's say that Nakamura wins his game. It was against Rapport, was it? Against
Duda.
Duda, which is possible, quite possible, but also many draws. But if that game is a draw, is a win for Nakamura, then draw in the last round should just take him there.
Right.
Yeah, I think really, because then Caruana could win the last two rounds, or Rajabov could win the last two rounds. But I think for Nakamura and Ding, if in the wrong way round, then 1.5 point doesn't work for Ding. But if he draws in round 13 and wins round 14, which is very likely strategy, then he will knock Nakamura away, and the idea of Okana or Rajabov making 2 out of 2, it can happen, but it's not such a great risk. So Ding probably has his chance for a match with trying to beat Nakamura. This is a likely last round scenario. I think Nepomniachtchi and Rapport would be very quick draw. That's round 13, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think it would be very quick draw, and then it's sort of settled. Yeah, you wanted to talk about the games.
Let's do that. So I'm going to
the Kramnik quote, which I have only heard of.
Yeah, let's look at the games and then see if we can make.
No, let's get the Kramnik quote first.
Oh, okay, then I will go back to that. Share the screen. Go back.
So everyone can see that this has been carefully coordinated and
yeah, we everything
choreographed in advance. Yes.
Okay, so Vladimir Kramnik apparently he's been doing live commentary on Levitov chess, who unfortunately I don't think are doing an English stream this time. But he is speaking, I think, after the first 5 or 6 rounds. This is the quote here, and I think everyone can see it. "I have never seen so many bad games in a top-level tournament. I'm very interested to know why this is. Blunders happen from time to time in top-level chess, but in this tournament, they are not episodic. The sheer amount of unreasonable mistakes of all types is stunning, and I want to discuss with you, or I want you to discuss with me exactly what's changed in the chess world in the last few years. And he says these players are capable of some really high quality chess, but this exact tournament does seem to have more bad games than ever. And then he went through some of the games and pointed out problems that he saw. Of course, the retort, coming from everyone's favorite Jan Gustafsson, when did Kramnik ever go to breakfast without his computer running on some problem? Which it seems, the general gist was that Kramnik was saying that either the rapid time controls that people have been playing the last couple of years or some sort of excessive influence of the computer as opposed to general chess principles has ruined top level chess. When of course, Kramnik himself was certainly not immune to that during his playing career. So
no, it's Kramnik's computer is always working. It's well known. Yeah, so if you give me control, I will say why Kramnik is right.
Okay, then this is bold claims. Let's do this. Can make host.
Well, obviously I'm coming with my opinion, and the fact that it's obviously correct should not make anyone mistake it for anything else, and it is just an opinion. Okay, so let's take this Alireza against Nepomniachtchi, because this is important game to understand what's happening in tournament. Okay, so this is preparation here. This Nepomniachtchi said I didn't really understand any of his moves from f3. This was, you can find a little interview with him afterwards, but okay, I also thought this was sort of like, this was a very natural way of playing, but all this is of course in our annotations on uschess.org. You can find them. I'm just literally showing stuff from there. Okay, so this is the moment. So Nepomniachtchi was asked by Karlovic, are you happy you won the game? So on, and he wasn't happy because he was shocked. Like this was just so bad here. So in this position here, if we look at the white pieces here, like what's there's nothing going on, right? Like I think black is fine, and okay, you can sort of, the computer says f4 and maybe it says 0.01 or something. At least mine did, because it hadn't reached the enough depth to go to 0.0 with 0, which it always does.
Right.
Either that or it goes to 154. There's really only one. No, it's only two evaluations, which is draw or winning. And you can make it 3 by winning for both sides. But here, Firusha, and this is after famously he played these 250 hyper bullet games with Naroditsky through the night, or how many men it was. He played g4. I saw this, and I look at the games while they're going on. I look at them without the engine because I want to have a human perspective. And if you read my notes, you can see that I very much, of course, I give what the computer gives because that is potential in the position. But I very much have my observations through a human understanding of it. And here, the pieces are not ready for this. I thought, his idea was rook g1, knight f5, or rook g1, g5. So here he played h4. It's like, now the king is just open. And then g5. And I'm like, what does he think he's going to do? It's like some bullet game he's going to play. King g2, rook h1, queen g1, queen h2, and he'll have time for mate. That might work in a bullet game where the opponent has to move instantly, but here in this kind of thing, yeah, if it's a bullet game, it works, but in a classical game, bang. And here I have this line here, which is quite funny. Black wins.
Oh.
You know, of course, nobody should play like this.
Right.
Nepomniachtchi plays quite simpler stuff, and it's exchange up for white, but it's just lost. So, so that would be really, really. Like this is an example of things that are really, really bad, but it could be an exception. Now let me show you some other examples here. This here is truly horrific. So this is a Rajabov against Nakamura. So here you could play bishop b6, and then maybe white has knight fd2 to c4 and so on. Okay, bishop a7, bishop b5. And I just don't get what Nakamura was thinking here. I think he was thinking he had to win and he would try some sacrifice, but there's just nothing here. Just nothing. There's no basis for an attack again. It's just like he later on he had if you look at the notes and you see later on he had a chance where he could maybe hold it, but this is just nonsense. It's just nonsense. And this is, of course, Rajabov being, as I said earlier, considered so weak by some of them that it was acceptable to take these kind of risks. And turns out he's not that weak. He's just scared. Okay, let me show you. There's more of it, and there's plenty more. So this is a game between Duda and Caruana. And here the correct way of playing in this position is queen e8 or queen f6, and put the knight, the queen here.
Yeah.
And then come here, and then after b5, here knight e7 is possible, or you can even play here, and then even this funny move with the idea of taking back with the knight on a6, and otherwise take on b5, bishop b6, knight d7, knight c5, knight f6, and stuff like that. It's playable. It's just fine for both sides, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead comes knight f4, queen f6, and now it's just very inconvenient. Here queen f7 is the move, and black's okay. It's worse, but this is a little passive. But instead he played this move here, b5, and now the whole point with the difference from the other line is if you play here, this is just nonsense. Like, this doesn't work. So he has to put the knight out here. And okay, here it's gone wrong. But of course it's not lost. And of course there's no reason for panic. And having said that, Caruana played g5. With the knight on a5, there's no bad white pieces. There's no big weaknesses in the white position. This is not, in my mind, different from what happened in the Furusha Nepomniachtchi game. Here, here. The white just plays absolutely normal moves. Here, and take an h4 was nice. And now the knight comes to g5, and
yeah,
black's just playing without the minor pieces. And he played rook g1, knight g5, and then there were various wins, and eventually one of them he found, and he won. And this is really bad. And we can then argue about why. I think, you know, from what I've seen in a lot of games, that there's been an issue with all this online rapid and stuff. And it's a natural pandemic recoil kind of thing. But this is bad. This is, you know, things where everyone can see that this is bad. This is not deep. This is like stupid.
So,
but these are really, really great players. And what is
well, and they're capable of. I mean, they're playing some good chess as well. I mean, you know, I think of Caruana's knight h1. What game was that?
It wasn't against Nakamura.
Yeah, but I mean, but he, these
But
guys are
that
making.
was that it looked nice, but it was not so fantastic. The really like the games where we're really stunned, I haven't seen really much of that. I do think the level is lower. So there's one more game to show here because there is, as we were saying, there were four people in the contention. So we have here a very important game. Ding is now suddenly recovered from his early loss, and he gets into a chance. He's playing Rajapov with white. And this here was played first in Jona against Bokolubov in Bern 1932. And in that game, it took here, and here black is already close to winning. After knight g4, there's no defense. It's just quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So, for example, something like this, and invading and so on. But okay, so Ding he took here, and there was a correspondence game played here with castle, and it's nothing special, but actually the way it came, white could have been close to winning when they agreed a draw. It's always sort of like a weird thing. So, but here Ding played b4, and he has shown a very remarkable lack of sense of danger in this tournament. And okay, a5, b5. Here I gave a funny line for people who are interested here, where I have to take with the knight, and then it ends in a perpetual like this.
Yeah, that was
It was funny.
Yeah, and by the way, again, everyone can go to uschess.org. We'll put the link in the comment box below. But also,
all the games of the candidates are annotated, include some of them saying, yeah, it made sense to just go for a quick draw, and that's the annotations. So, but all the games are annotated.
Right.
Okay, so here he played a6, and he doesn't want to castle because queen c7, and then b5 is hanging, h2 hanging already. So he plays a3, which again it reminds me a lot of the game he lost in the first round, where there's just no sense of danger at all. And he played bishop d7, but still here, if he plays a4, it's fine. He can castle afterwards. But here, this is just so incredibly bad. And this is where I think Kramnik is right, because we can find these kind of games from all players except one. Now, Nepomniachtchi has not impressed in the way that I don't think he has played as well as he did last time around, but I also don't think he has been required to play as well as he did last time around. So it's like he hasn't impressed because it's like if he gets a match with me, he doesn't have to impress to win all games. It's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
If the players play badly against him, he won't get the chance to impress. So here, like, this was just unbelievable. Take on a6, and it looks very natural, but come on, now the rook is here. If you castle, then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to take on h3, and you can't prevent it. Basically bishop take h3 is going to come, and white is just going to say, yeah, sure, you can keep it.
Yeah,
that's going to be the best chance. So here he played rook d1, he played here, and here already the computer says this is the best move to get out of any tactics.
Oof.
And then the bishop's not pointed that way, so now it's not made anymore. Already gone bad, yeah. And then, okay, I know people will have seen this already. And then this comes, and yeah, there's no variations here. Just no variations. He went here. I almost thought he could take it again, but okay. He won in a simple way here and resigned. Rook comes into c2, for example, bishop to e3, queen to f4, knight takes g4, all kind of things. It's, are we allowed to say shit show?
But no one's watching anyway, so yeah, we'll just.
Yeah, it's not very nice.
Yeah.
Tournament. It's really not very good.
It's not what you want. So I guess the question then is this. Well,
So
there's two.
Magnus looking at this tournament cannot see that, that anyone is challenging him to anything.
Um, is it simply, once they stop playing so much, or if they ever stop playing so much rapid, the superficiality will leave, or is this because what I was getting also from what Kramnik was saying was that people are playing trying to play the way they think Stockfish does, or they're playing openings where they have to play these very bizarre, they have to have some very strange ideas in mind to justify what Stockfish is telling them, and then they can't play normal positional chess afterwards. Like somehow they've lost the ability to do that.
No. Did Kramnik talk about Stockfish, or was it Gustafsson talking about Stockfish?
Well, no, he was saying that Kramnik is Kramnik is never gone to breakfast without
Yeah. But
right.
I don't.
But I think
I'm not sure. I haven't seen a quote from Kramnik where he blames computers in this.
Well, he was saying basically, people can go to Reddit, or I think Chess24 may have like a transcript as well. But my sense of it, and I could be completely wrong. I mean, I screwed up the cross table, anything can happen. Was also that he was saying, that somehow people are just playing these completely like they're not playing sound chess. They're playing anti-positional moves, and whether it's the influence of the superficiality based on rapid play, or it's somehow that they're tainted too much by the engine. I'm not sure which it is.
Yeah, I sort of cannot follow the thinking, because when I work with the engines, they give me very sound moves. The pieces work well together in a way that you wish you could do yourself. I
Right.
find that, yeah, I don't follow it. So
Okay.
I just don't. Someone smarter than me can maybe understand it, but I don't see it.
Okay. So they just need to slow down and train for real calculation.
But it's not just calculation, but it's just it's another rhythm to the game. But I've mentioned this before. If you see Carlsen's first game in Norway chess against Wang Hao, on move 18 where he plays e3, if he plays rook fc1, I think is best. The game is just winning, but he plays e3 and plays it quite quickly, and it's just a rapid move where all chances always come, because they always come in rapid, but they don't come in classical in the same way. And they never came, and he didn't win the game. And yeah, it's a different sport.
Well, should we make predictions? Should we?
I'm going to come with a ironclad prediction this time. Nepomniachtchi is going to win this tournament, and let's just go with the heart this time and say Nakamura is going to go second.
I tend to agree. I mean, obviously Nepomniachtchi is an easy sell here, but yeah, I think maybe Nakamura has some chances to do this, and of course, I would love to see that just for American chess as a whole. But I think also I could see a Nepomniachtchi Nakamura match being interesting. I think it depends on. Honestly,
I think from a chess perspective, that would be a very interesting match.
Yeah,
and I think Nepomniachtchi is very beatable from Nakamura's perspective, and Nepomniachtchi is quite superficial, and I think Nakamura has the ability to not be, and I think he could definitely contest in a match there. What kind of match it would be, and what the financial political circumstances would be, I have no idea.
That's the problem.
But it's also possible that because of the players knowing that although this is a world championship match, it's not a championship of the world, that they sort of would accept that the conditions are not as glorious as they normally are in a world championship match. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out the first part of this in 2 days. And it's going to be an
Yeah,
exciting
it's
2
it's
days.
just like the Olympiad, the tournament's not over till long after it's over. It's most sports, who has won when the tournament ends, but in chess, it seems we're very good at not having clarity on this.
It's yeah, yeah. It's I don't even know what to say, Jakob. It's
It is what it is. It
it
just
is
is what it is.
it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let you get back on your vacation, and I'm going to put this up on YouTube, and I'm going to go back and figure out what on earth happened with my cross table. So we may see you again in a couple days for a post-event wrap.
Yeah, let's say that.
Perfect. All right. Well, until I see you again, enjoy St. Louis, and make sure you try some of that Provel pizza. I hear it's a very interesting.
Already I'm scared, but
yeah, it's an acquired taste, but it's I'm sure
already there. Now it's a no. we went for dinner in St. Louis once, but I think it was Chinese.
Yes, yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. But anyway, all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.